Real estate is a numbers game. At least, that's what they told Nancy Weller when she signed her contract with Pine Tree Realty 3 years ago. Sell 4 houses a month, they said. Hit your quota and you'll eat. Miss too many and, well, the door's over there. By the time Ashwood House dropped in her lap, Nancy had 3 weeks to make one more sale. She was already on thin ice with Gary, her boss, a soft-spoken man with the personality of lukewarm oatmeal and the patience of a vulture. He'd looked at her that morning like he was already writing the termination paperwork in his head. Ashwood House was perfect on paper. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, on an acre of wooded land just outside Kearney, Maine. Cheap, scandalously cheap. The photos were gorgeous. Hardwood floors, big windows, kitchen backsplash straight out of a magazine. It should have moved in a day, but it had been sitting for 6 months. Just needs a right pitch, Gary said, sliding the file across her desk. You get this one to close, Nancy. Maybe you'll stick around. Nancy drove out on a Wednesday. The house sat at the end of a gravel lane that petered into pine forest like a finger pointing at nothing. It looked better in person than in photos. Too good, maybe. The siding was the color of warm cream, shutters painted hunter green, a porch with one of those swings that creak in movies but hold steady in real life. The front door was unlocked. She frowned. Usually, there's a lockbox. Here, nothing. Just a big brass handle that turned like it had been waiting. Inside, the air felt off. Not cold, not musty. More like stepping into a room someone had just left. A party you weren't invited to, but walked into anyway. And the layout. She swore the hallway ran straight back to a kitchen. But when she stepped through the first doorway, she found herself in a living room, then a bedroom, then, absurdly, a laundry nook that should have been on the other side of the house. It was like the blueprint had been shuffled by a bored god. By the time she reached the kitchen, her phone said she'd taken 17 steps. The house wasn't that big. That night, she dreamt of hallways that looped like ribbon, stairs that ended in ceilings, doors that opened onto the same room again and again, furniture sliding an inch at a time like chess pieces playing against themselves. When she woke, her phone buzzed with a text from Gary. Show it at noon. Couple from out of state. Don't blow it. The couple, Eric and Louise Kepler, were nice. Retired, friendly, the kind of people who used words like quaint without irony. Nancy gave them the pitch, walked them through, smiled until her cheeks ached. But halfway through the tour, Louise frowned. Didn't we already see this room? Nancy glanced around. Same couch, same picture on the wall, same throw blanket, folded just so. Yes, Nancy said too quickly. It's a split floor plan. Easy to get turned around. Eric laughed politely. Louise didn't. Her eyes stayed on the doorways like they might shift if she blinked. By the time they reached the kitchen, Nancy swore they'd taken the same hallway twice. The couple looked pale, polite, eager to leave. We'll think about it, Eric said. They didn't think about it. They never called back. 2 days later, Nancy went back alone. Not because she wanted to, but because she needed to understand. She walked the rooms, notebook in hand, tracing paths, counting steps, trying to map it like some lost explorer. That'd be why the Third Circuit. She realized the windows weren't in the same places. The porch swing was visible from the laundry nook. The upstairs landing had a door she didn't remember, a plain white slab with no knob. She stood in front of it, heart rattling against her ribs. Don't open that, she whispered to herself. She opened it. Inside was a hallway. Of course it was. Only this one slanted down, the air damp and heavy, the walls narrowing as she walked. No lights, no windows, just the smell of earth, like the house had burrowed under itself. After maybe 20 paces, the hallway spat her into a room that shouldn't exist. Wallpaper peeling like old sunburn, a rocking chair in the corner, and, God help her, Gary, her boss, sitting in it, eyes wide, mouth working like he was trying to speak but couldn't remember how. Gary, she said, stepping forward. He shook his head violently. His finger lifted, pointed back the way she'd come. Nancy turned. The doorway was gone. They found her car in the driveway the next morning. Engine cold, purse on the passenger seat. No nanthi. Pine Tree Realty pulled the listing by the end of the week. Ashwood House still stands, cream siding, green shutters, porch swing moving when there's no wind. Some nights, if you press your ear to the door, you can hear a phone ringing somewhere deep inside, followed by the faint sound of someone laughing, like they just made the easiest sale of their life. Maggie Cooper didn't pick up the first time the phone rang. It was late, 11:37 p.m., and calls at that hour never carried good news. She sat at the kitchen table, staring at the pile of unpaid bills spread like a paper fan across the wood, her cigarette burning low in the ashtray. Beside her, the baby monitor hissed faint static from her son's room upstairs. The landline, yes, she still had a landline, rang again. On the fourth ring, she sighed, dragged the receiver to her ear, and said, "Hello." Silence. Then a chuckle, low, raspy, familiar. And then, two muffins are sitting in an oven. One says, "Wow, it's hot in here." The other says, "Holy crap, a talking muffin." The breath caught in Maggie's throat like a lump of ice. That joke, that stupid, corny joke, had been Dave's favorite. Her husband's joke. Her dead husband's joke. She swallowed. "Who is this?" No answer. Just the sound of someone breathing, slow and steady, like they had all the time in the world. Then the line went dead. The second call came the next night. Same time. This time Maggie answered on the first ring. "Why did the Scarecrow win an award?" The same voice whispered. "Because he was outstanding in his field." Her fingers went numb. It wasn't just the words, it was the cadence, the little hitch in the middle, the way Dave used to tell it while leaning against the kitchen counter after a beer or two. And then the voice said something new. "Your boy's awake." Maggie froze. Upstairs, through the monitor, she heard the faint creak of bed springs. That be why the fourth night, she didn't bother pretending this wasn't happening. She sat by the phone like a sentry, chain-smoking, watching the clock. At 11:37, it rang. She snatched it up. "What do you want from me?" The voice chuckled softly, the way Dave did when he'd found her in one of her fiery moods at the window. It whispered, "He likes the moon tonight." Her heart slammed against her ribs. She dropped the phone and ran upstairs. Her son, Sammy, 5 years old in all bedhead and Batman pajamas, stood at his bedroom window, looking out the yard. "Mama," he said without turning, "there's a man in the yard." The police came. They found no footprints, no tire tracks, no one on the property. They told her it was probably a prank, a sick one. Maybe the kid dreamed it. Maybe the stress was getting to her. They left at 1:28 and then, softly, almost tender, "You should have left the window locked." In the morning, Maggie's neighbors would say they didn't hear a thing. Not the phone ringing, not the breaking glass, not the screams. But Sammy's room was empty, the window wide open, and on the floor beside the bed, the phone receiver lay off the hook, a faint chuckle crackling through the line until the police finally hung it up.